Brooklyn Independent Television.
Hey you guys, welcome to another episode of BK4Reel. I'm Monica, and today we are in Crown Heights for the Brooklyn Girl Film Festival, which supports the work of female filmmakers. And in addition to showing you some films, I will also be interviewing some of the directors, producers, screenwriters, and even the director of the whole film festival, so stay tuned. So I am standing with Danielle Lurie, who is the writer, director, and cinematographer of Tiny Mighty Magic. How are you today?
I'm so good.
Yeah?
Nice to be here.
I just wanted to ask you, what was your inspiration for the film?
Yeah, sure. So this short film is, I made a bunch of short films before, and they've all been a lot more serious, and I focus on human rights and a lot of women's rights stuff. And this short was like my experiment in just making something that was really fun and whimsical and lighthearted, instead of something that was just very dark and harrowing, those are important too, but I wanted to do something more fun.
Every day, millions of letters get sorted out and sent off to the zip codes of their destiny.
Mail's here.
And when the letters reach their zip code, one person is responsible for bringing them to our homes. We don't know his name. We don't know his age. Most of us don't even know what he looks like. But we always take for granted that every single day at 3 p.m., the mail comes.
What would you say to aspiring girls who want to become filmmakers?
I would say go for it. All you need right now is your iPhone, which has video on it, and you can just start making movies. And I would say, what you need to do is start making films. Don't be afraid to fail. Just start making stuff, messing around, trying stuff on iMovie. And then eventually you'll get the hang of it, and then you'll start to figure out the stories you want to tell, and you'll figure out your voice. But just start making films. That was the advice that Wes Anderson gave to me.
Wow.
So I'm giving it to you girls everywhere.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm standing here with Rebecca Sherwood, the director of Aliyah Ya'eli. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous tonight, thanks.
So tell us about the inspiration for this film.
Sure. I met Lindsay, the subject of the film. It's a documentary in Austin, Texas, while we were both serving for AmeriCorps, and she decided to convert to Judaism, and I was very interested in her story, especially since religion is not such a big part in a lot of people's lives as it should be. And when she decided to move to Israel as a black female American, I was very interested in seeing what it was like for her over there, especially she didn't know Hebrew, and she converted to Judaism despite a lot of people in her life kicking back at her. So it was really the story to say, your identity in the new age.
It's a struggle. I've been here a year. And the first time I had pizza delivered to my house was yesterday. Let's talk about how amazing that was, okay? And how I didn't really even know what kind of pizza I was getting, but I was getting pizza to my house. Let's talk about that. Little stuff like that, the little accomplishments that people take for granted. They think this should be easy, this should be easy. It's not easy to move to another country. It's not easy to make Aliyah or to immigrate or to be a refugee someplace.
What advice would you give to the girls out there who are aspiring filmmakers?
I'd say YouTube's a fabulous thing, and you should just go for it.
YouTube.
Life's too short, Not everybody can be in Sundance, but everybody can be on the internet, so you can't wait around for somebody to tell you that you're worth it.
I'm here with Keisha Benson, the director and producer of Beale Street Blues. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. What inspired you to cover musicians in Tennessee?
Well, what happened was about 3 years ago, I met a blues artist in Arlington, Virginia. His name is Chester Chandler, and he used to tell me all these old stories about being on Beale Street and playing with B.B. King and James Brown, and I was so enthusiastic by it. I didn't know anything about blues, and I wanted to do some more research to find out, okay, what's going on out there. And as I was doing research, I was I found out that there was all these issues and controversial issues going on with black blues artists.
Many times, and we talked about it, how can you get a marquee value if you are standing on the corner playing? Same thing when you take a $250 gig. The word travels.
The music industry treat artists bad. Memphis here, we can't make no money in Memphis. I'm just going to be out in front and tell you.
Every year from down in Hanley Park, and all they want to give me is $250. I got 5 guys playing my man. How can you pay 5 guys out of $250? I'm the best blues artist down on Beale Street. The people, everybody will come down here and told me. But I don't get that kind of respect.
I've been asking this question all night. What would you say to girls who want to become filmmakers?
You know what? I tell them just to do their own thing. You know, you have an idea, go ahead and do it yourself. Don't wait around and wait for someone to give you the money to do it. Don't wait around for somebody to hire you, because at the end of the day, people want to see your work and they want to see that you're experienced, you're skillful to actually create a story and tell a story. So I say go ahead and do it yourself. Shoot your own film. You know, learn the craft, learn how to edit, learn how to shoot, and go ahead and do it.
I am here with April Moskis, the director of the festival. How did you come up with the idea for the film festival?
I'm a filmmaker myself, and I had a short film that played the festival circuit, and just being out there and just noticing that there's just not a lot of women out there who are represented by the festivals or attending festivals, that I decided to come back here and create this festival.
What advice would you give to the girls who want to become those filmmakers and those screenwriters and those producers?
Just do it, and don't let anyone discourage you. Just keep your vision and just go for it.
Great, so we look forward to seeing your festival next year and the year after that and the year after that and so on. Thank you so much. Let's check out some films.
My only problem when I was younger is that people will always say it, and then they soon started to believe it. So yes, I'm a terrorist, and I attacked the World Trade Center when I was just 6 years old. I'm the reason that you won't see those people that you love again. I'm the reason the war on terror started. I'm the reason why everybody's killing each other.
I remember I was in school and that I was looking outside because I used to sit by the window, and I saw like the sky and everything. It was dark, and I saw my teacher, like she was freaking out a little bit and all that, and I started to notice like later on that parents, they were coming to take their kids home and all that. And then my mom came and she took me home, and I'm like, what happened? Right? And she's like, oh, we're just taking you home. She didn't tell me anything. So, I'm thinking, oh, great, I'm going home. And then I went home and I wanted to watch cartoons. I turned the TV on, but there was no cartoons on. It was only news, and all I saw was the same thing on every channel. I knew what happened because I found out. My parents told me so I could protect myself. And I realized that everybody was like categorizing me as a Paki or a terrorist or something like that just because I'm from, I'm Muslim.
My father works in a building in Manhattan, and even though I didn't know which one it was, I just automatically assumed the one he was working in is the one that got hit. My babysitter said, go do your homework. I mean, I could hear her yelling, but I didn't turn away from the TV. And then that's when she stopped and she said to her daughters, like, that's great, now the girl knows. My dad took me home, and usually he would give me a piggyback ride, I guess, to the house because it was like 3 blocks away. And that day he didn't, so I was like, can you? And then he goes like, no, I want to tell you something important. I'm like, what is it? And he goes, things are going to be very different now. I remember he got like close to me, like he kind of kneeled down in a way. And he's like, things are going to be different now. I'm like, what? And he goes, just know when you go to school tomorrow, don't worry about it. If anybody gives you a hard time, just tell your teacher. If anybody tells you to take off your scarf, you don't do it. So it wasn't until a while after being treated differently that I realized what he was talking about.
What I'm curious to know is, when that happened and you guys were in first grade and they hid it from you guys, but then you guys obviously found out what happened, what went through your mind? Because you're a native of Brooklyn, right? So both of us, even though we have different ethnic backgrounds, are pretty much the same. It's just you were in Brooklyn, I was in New Jersey, so.
I guess it is very hard growing up in America, especially towards Islam. The media never helps. The media is what pretty much half of the American population get their information about Islam. That's all they know. All they know is what the media is feeding them, basically. Nobody is actually doing their own kind of research.
I see since 9/11 in the writings of my students, particularly the Muslims, the girls in particular, where the horror stories, there was no way for them to have a dialogue or anything. It was just being accosted because of the way they looked.
I went to a village once and I was playing security and these kids came up to me. And at first I was like, I don't know these people. But we went to this village a bunch of times and I got to know these kids and they loved soccer. And I love soccer, I'm Spanish. And so the funny thing is that because we both loved soccer, it was an easy way to communicate over something very simple. It totally changed my entire view of like what we were doing over there, our mission, everything. It just changed everything. And that was totally unexpected. I didn't expect that at all. I expected to be like on the defensive and, arm's length away and not talk to anybody. But yeah, that was probably the single most unexpected thing.
Being a senior in high school right now, I've actually seen people mature, and I've noticed teachers actually defending Muslims now. And like I've seen when 9/11 comes by and the teachers are supposed to talk about it, so the students, they're informed and they don't make the mistakes that some people that I've seen in my younger life make. And I've noticed that it's gotten a little better, but it'll still be around. It'll always be around because that's a day nobody's gonna forget. No American or no Muslim or nobody. It's something that affected everyone, and more people are understanding. And as the generations are coming on, we're gonna teach them about it, and we're gonna teach them the right way. We're not gonna teach them to be racist or prejudiced or any of that. They'll learn that it was an attack, and it wasn't every Muslim. It was just a certain group of people.
I'm encouraged by your film and by your writings. Very powerful writings about who you are and your traditions and your family and your aspirations.
The whole experience definitely allowed me to grow and change because because I totally believe in the fact that we should all encourage ourselves or anybody to visit other nations or cultures and like saturate yourself in that so you can understand that like we're all the same. It's just different beliefs and different ways of living, right?
So it wasn't until a while after being treated differently that I realized what he was talking about. And I feel like it's gonna last for more time. I don't know how long.
Keep it rolling.
Oh wait, hold on.
So listen, I found out recently that I was gonna come see you. And so I wanted to like bring you something, and then I thought about it and I was like, what can I give her? Because, I don't want to give you like a t-shirt or anything crazy. So I'm going to give you something that means a lot to me. Attached to my dog tags is this little emblem that is what we follow. It's our motto, our creed, right? And so you wanted to meet a soldier, and I wanted to come here to meet you. It was very important to me. So this has been to Iraq with me and all my training and everything else. And this is our warrior ethos, which says what we believe in, and our army values, because this is what we truly believe in. So you can show all your friends and say, hey, not all soldiers are bad, crazy people. You don't have to wear it or anything, but I want to give it to you. You can do whatever you want, because I think it's important for you to realize that this step that you're taking is extremely important, and you should continue to do this and follow this path. the only way that we're going to change the perception of people, right, is by asking these questions and being fearless and being able to pursue a dream when people tell you that, like, oh, you're Muslim, you shouldn't be a journalist, or you should take this off so you fit in. Forget that. But anyway, this is for you, and I want you to definitely follow the path that you're going.
I wish I was strong enough to lift not one but both of us. Someday I will be strong enough to lift not one but both of us.
Ever thought about losing it? When your money's all gone and you lose your whip, you might lose your grip. When the landlord tell you that you do for rent and the grass.
I joined Key Club this summer before my freshman year, so literally the first day of school my freshman year. What made me want to join Key Club? I was just attracted to it because they just looked like a fun bunch of kids. My mother's always taught me to give back to my community. I've done a lot of like environmental sort of projects. I was like, this is a service club, I'll give it a try. And then once I joined Key Club, I really started connecting with the human race kind of, because Key Club does a lot of service for children. And I really connected with special needs children. There's fundraising, there's just providing someone with a smile, making a difference in someone's life. There's just so many aspects of service, and Key Club has really opened my eyes to so many opportunities. I don't see myself branching away from the Kiwanis family. I see it as a club that will stay with me for the rest of my life, and that's one of the reasons why I love Key Club so much, because the club is open to any age, any person, anyone.
My name is Helen Wong. I'm 15 years old and I go to Midwood High School. My favorite club is Key Club. I'm supposed to oversee, see if they're doing anything interesting, and organize division events so that all of them could come together and we do a big group project. And sometimes I don't really want to do schoolwork. I just want to focus on my Key Club. My previous lieutenant governor, she called it Key Club fever, where all you want to do is Key Club. It's all the adults. All the adults, they say, family first, school second, Key Club third.
Miss Joy, you want to give me a hug next?
Yeah, man, I want to give you a hug. Come here.
Whenever he has to pull me away to go to board meetings, Mr. Joya comes and he talks to my parents and my grandparents, and he's like, she's gonna keep up with everything. I have had previous lieutenant governors who got into so-and-so school and so-and-so program is now this doctor and that doctor, and they're like, oh, okay, and then they let me go. I think they don't really know that much about it. As Key Clubbers, we like to work with a lot of different fundraising organizations, one of them being American Cancer Society. We help out with their Relay for Life. This is very important to me because I have several family members who have been affected by cancer. I remember when I had my final job interview as lieutenant governor, my grandmother had been diagnosed with lung cancer a couple weeks before. She was supposed to get surgery the next day to cut away a fifth of her lung. It was very stressful for me because she's my grandmother and she's always been there for me and she's always been taking care of me. And I remember when Mr. Joya asked me, you know, why do you want to have this job? Why do you want to do this? Is there any specific reason? I remember telling them that I feel like I have a moral obligation to the community because everyone has helped my grandma so much and I should help them back.
I'm here today for anybody who has been touched
whether they've had cancer or whether they just know someone who's had cancer. And we form these teams and set a fundraising goal. So we can raise money for those who are fighting against cancer, so we can raise money for those who are fighting to cope with a life of cancer. And not only to raise funds, but to raise awareness. We also show others what can be done. That's our own epidemic in a sense. An epidemic of positivity, I like to call it. So that one day, on a stage like this, in front of an auditorium like this, somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, someone can come up in front of us and say, my name is, I am, he is, she is, they are, we all are cancer survivors. Thank you.
Key Club is fall rally, board meetings, official pictures, headquarters, and icon. Key Club is also pride in our job, pride in our friends, pride in our club, but most of all, proud of our love.
So one day, I found myself just contemplating on how to make this world a better place. So I found the key to unlock all my problems. They asked me.
How many times do you have to hear something before you actually believe it? My name is Asta, and my friends call me Star. And throughout my life, I was defined in a negative way by my disability.
They said you wouldn't make it so far, and ever since they said it, it's been hard. But never mind the night you had to.
I was born with spastic cerebral palsy, which is a walking disability that causes stiffness in my legs. And I'm only expected to live to the age of 45, which is not enough time for me. Growing up for me was sometimes challenging. People call me crippled or try to imitate the way I walk. As I was younger, it got to me. But now I choose to laugh about it when people still do it. I feel like in this world, I am more judged for what people believe I'm capable of or the way I walk than who I really am as a person.
3, 2, 1.
It really upsets me because that's when it really becomes crippling by taking away a part of my independence. Who am I? What am I? Since the age of 4, I have been raised in a foster home. And at 12, I got adopted. I never knew what happened to my biological family. Only that I have a twin sister out there somewhere. And it never really bothered me so much because I always looked at LaVonda as my real mother. She was one of the biggest influences in my life. She taught me how to walk at the age of 5. She taught me independence. She would always say to me, if I was to die today or tomorrow, you'll be able to take care of yourself. Well, on December 14, 2008, she passed away from diabetes. I was 14 years old and just basically starting high school. Many nights I used to cry myself to sleep, not knowing how my life would be and not wanting to be bothered by anyone. I didn't know if this was supposed to be an ending or just a new beginning to my life.
And
After months of grieving, therapy, and praying, I managed to get myself together little by little. Not me only being disabled and an African American woman, having to fight harder for what I want in life. My challenge is no longer what society thinks of me. I accept me for me, and that's what matters. I graduated high school at the age of 17 and made a dedicated commitment to keep striving for independence by following my dreams even when negativity keeps trying to become my partner. It's not where you come from, how much you make, or what you own that should matter, but where you are going by the life you choose to live. Who am I? I am self-confidence. What am I? I'm stronger today to be fully prepared for a better tomorrow.
So that's our show. Don't forget to keep sending us your films. And if you're a girl, this is proof that you can do anything you set your mind to. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. And don't forget, keep it cool, keep it real, keep it BK for real. See ya!
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at bricartsmedia.org/BIT.